One day at work, we got to discussing Chris Farley. His humor, his talent, his legacy, his life. It got me thinking about how unexpectedly life can be taken away. He died at just 33, the same age I am now as I write this. While his life was cut tragically short, he still left a lasting impression on the world, and a legacy of laughs that brought so much joy to so many people. Whenever my time comes, I hope to have impacted the world for the better. From Robert Louis Stevenson, the man is a success, who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has gained the respect of intelligent men and the love of children, who has filled his niche and accomplished his task, who leaves the world better than he found it, whether by an improved poppy, a perfect poem, or a rescued soul, who never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it, who looked for the best in others and gave the best he had. When I was a kid, I distinctly remember feeling despondent over not having impacted the world or anyone around me. I remember watching It's a Wonderful Life with my family and feeling jealousy at the way George Bailey had impacted everyone around him so much that the loss of his life would have had a huge negative impact on everyone who knew him. I told my mom something along the lines of, nobody would remember anything I've done if I died. Mind you, I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And she responded that I was young and hadn't done enough in my life yet to be remembered that way. I was highly offended by that at the time, but used it as motivation to instead become that kind of person. I was just a kid, and it's rare for a kid to have done something so impactful as to leave a lifelong legacy. I remember wanting that, though. Wanting to be a positive force in other people's lives, wanting to be remembered, and I'm sure a little selfishly, wanting to be celebrated. That aspiration manifested in two parts. Firstly, enjoying my life as it is through all of its stages, and secondly, being a positive force in other people's lives. I want to appreciate every stage of my life because many don't have a long one, and nobody knows how much time they have. What does making the most of my life mean for me specifically? This is things such as spending time on and taking joy in hobbies, investing myself in my kids and their interests, working a job I enjoy, surrounding myself with beauty, and reading. On the topic of reading, one of the books that has had the most profound impact on me through my life is The Phantom Tollbooth. If you haven't read it, the story follows a little boy, Milo, as he starts out the story very bored and displeased with his life, just wanting something more. What? He doesn't know. Then one day, a toll booth shows up in his bedroom, and he decides to get in his toy car and pretend to drive up to the toll booth. Then he continues driving into a magical land full of wonderful, bizarre, and even terrifying things. He embarks on an adventure to bring the twin sisters, Rhyme and Reason, back to the land, because everything has gone upside down without them. And on the way, he learns all sorts of lessons, like the importance of seeing the world through someone else's perspective, and the dangers of jumping to conclusions, wherein he literally jumps to the island of conclusions and needs to find his way back off. Ultimately, Milo learns how not boring life is, and in fact, how magical, wonderful, and fun it can be. That's an attitude I've worked to foster all throughout my life since. I developed a curiosity about life and started seeing the magic in the ordinary. I dedicated myself to investing time in many hobbies throughout my childhood, which remains a top priority to me today, as you can see in this video. This is most commonly manifested as 2D drawings and paintings in many different mediums, but I've dabbled in novel writing, sewing, guitar, bookmaking, crochet, embroidery, even block printing. It's really important to me to keep that creativity alive. With 5 kids and a messy house, it can be difficult to dedicate the time to things that feel quote-unquote non-productive. I'm lucky enough to have married someone who really supports me in my creativity and provides me with lots of time and opportunity to develop it, as I try to do the same for him. Which brings me to my second point. What is being a positive force in other people's lives? I'm a homebody with a bunch of kids, so my opportunities to go out and use my time or physical presence to benefit others is difficult. Still, I try to take every opportunity I'm presented with, if I'm able. In the past, this has been things such as body doubling while a friend cleans or does laundry, creating memorial portraits, donating financially to individuals or causes, supporting other artists and creatives, randomly buying a book for a friend. I've found throughout my life that whenever I start feeling a little down on myself, a little sorry for myself, what I need is to give. I need to step outside myself and do something for someone else solely for the joy it will bring to them. I'm not saying this is going to work for everyone, just that it's what works for me. I often think of this metaphor I read a while ago about a little girl walking on the beach, where thousands of starfish have washed up from a storm, and she's continually stopping to pick up starfish one by one and toss them back into the ocean. Someone comes along and asks why she's doing that. There are thousands that would need to be thrown back, and she can't possibly make a difference. She tosses another one and says, I made a difference to that one. I don't think any of us should underestimate the impact we can have in our corner of the world, however big or small it is. If I've been able to positively impact one person, then it's worth my time and effort. Dr. Seuss said, "To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world." The story of It's a Wonderful Life has been so impactful for so many years with such a simple message. Your life holds so much meaning and value to everyone around you, often in ways you can't even comprehend and may never know. It was George Bailey's kindness and generosity that defined his character. He never got to live his big, travel-the-world dreams, but he realized so many other smaller dreams, both his own and for others. You don't need to capture the moon to have a lasting impact on the world, because the world that needs you is all around you already. He also learned, for himself, what a wonderful life it really had been. A wife and kids who deeply loved him, friends and family who had been by his side all along, a home full of love and life, a community that all strived toward the best for each other. Well, except for that one guy. So I try to focus on just being thankful. There is such a blessing in a quote-unquote boring life. In waking up to a family of raucous kids, rushing to school, settling back at home with a fresh cup of coffee, watching the seasons change, catching a rare glimpse of a squirrel racing up a tree, finally getting to just sit and binge some trash TV at the end of a long, busy, productive day. The day-to-day that is so much the same, yet always different. Every day, a new opportunity to learn something, to love on someone, to create, to explore. Even if it's just discovering the sunrise looking magical for the 100,000th time, and creating a particularly yummy sandwich. I love this quote from Pat Benatar. "I've enjoyed every age I've been, and each has had its own individual merit. Every laugh line, every scar, is a badge I wear to show I've been present, the inner rings of my personal tree trunk that I display proudly for all to see. Nowadays, I don't want a perfect face and body. I want to wear the life I've lived." That's what I'm striving for, that at the end of my life, whenever it comes, I will have lived it to the fullest. If you've made it all the way to the end, I just want to thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope we can paint and pontificate again soon. If you're interested in hanging this painting on your own wall, head on over to eBay where it is available for purchase. The starting bid is just the cost of shipping, so go on over and check it out.